Americans are on edge tonight as law enforcement agencies across the country remained on heightened alert, this ahead of Thanksgiving and Black Friday. But President Obama is assuring Americans that there's no credible threat, and he's vowed to defeat ISIS.
We're stepping up the pressure on ISIL where it lives, and we will not let up, adjusting our tactics where necessary until they are beaten. That's our first goal. Right now, we know of no specific and credible intelligence indicating a plot on the homeland.
But ISIS is releasing a new propaganda video taunting America and telling the West to, quote, bring it on. The terrorist group hitting on hot-button issues like the high suicide rate among U.S. vets. The group also targeting lawmakers and corporate America. So, should we listen to President Obama and rest easy? Joining me now, Fox Business senior correspondent Charlie Gasparino, and Morten Storm, former member of Al-Qaeda turned double agent for the CIA. He's also the author of Agent Storm, My Life Inside Al-Qaeda and the CIA. You know, guys, as we're talking, I want the audience to take a look at this list scrolling up. These are casualties at the hands of ISIS this year. It covers the entire globe. So, Morten, the administration, are they still underestimating ISIS?
Yeah, I think so. If ISIS say we're going to attack, we should expect it. There's no way we should drop the guards. But I also understand that that we should continue our life and not let them interrupt, our daily life. But for sure, we have seen in France, we have seen it all over, that that ISIS are capable of hitting the West.
Morten, when you were in Al-Qaeda, did you see where did they get angrier? Did they see it as a challenge when we said, hey, there's no big deal? When experts like you would come on and say, hey, live your life as normal, did that rile them up even more?
Well, to be honest, when I plead allegiance to Al-Qaeda, I did that as an agent, as a double agent for the CIA. But I have to say that what these people hate is that we live a normal life. They want to scare us and to make us live in fear. So the strongest thing we can do is to obviously prepare ourselves, be ready for a fight, but don't show them fear. Yeah. Look, I am on the threat. I have death threats. I'm on the kill list. I go to TVs, I go anywhere. I even went to the mosque last Friday to speak to the imam because I've been told there was a terrorist in there. I don't give up, I don't back up from these people.
Charlie, you're not the type who backs up either. But of course,
I don't want any fights with these guys.
But 2 Fridays ago, there were kids at a disco, there were people sitting in an outdoor cafe, and there was also a soccer match going on or whatever. So, there's some sort of middle ground.
Right, and we should be real clear here what terrorists want to do. I mean, they want to destroy our way of life. They want to destroy our economy, what it really comes down to. I mean, I know this is a money show. I'm not grasping for straws here. What they want to do is say normal people don't go out and shop during Christmas, and people don't go out and do things, and they want to hit us in our pocketbook. And that's why President Obama went out there and said, listen, we don't know of no threats. He doesn't want to see GDP go down because of terrorism.
But are you insinuating that there may be threats, and if there were, he wouldn't tell us?
Listen, I will say this. This is the one problem with President Obama. It's hard. He doesn't have credibility on this issue. When you start out by saying, calling these guys the JV team, and they're and it's pretty proof positive, it's much more than that. And then when you ignore sort of the rational advice from people like Leon Panetta, his former defense secretary, former head of the CIA. Leon Panetta said we should be taking the fight to them more, and he's ignoring that. When you have something like that, it's hard to believe that we should just stand down. But listen, I know why he's doing it. He's doing it because terrorism, they want to kill, and then they want to destroy our economy.
But how confident are you that this is the right person, President Obama, to really make this happen? In other words, we don't want them to win. We don't want to change our lives. But how confident should the average American be that Obama is doing the right things to keep us safe this week?
Listen, I will say this. If you look at his record on this issue, he's done maybe one good thing. He killed Osama bin Laden. He's basically misread just about everything else, particularly what ISIS is, and allowed them to grow in power where they're now a global threat. So, do you trust somebody? Listen, I'm not saying he's a bad guy. I don't trust him.
We're talking about his commander-in-chief, though.
His competency on this issue. I don't think he's competent on this issue.
Morten, did you get a sense, or do you get a sense of how Al-Qaeda, ISIS, how do these members feel about President Obama? Do they see him as someone to be feared? Do they see him as someone who's not only underestimated them, but made their job easier?
Well, I have just read today an article in the New York Times that unfortunately, the CIA, with President Obama in head of it, paid $5 million to Al Qaeda in Afghanistan in 2010. You know, it's a disgrace. We had the chance, myself, when I infiltrated Al Qaeda, to kill Nasser al-Wahishi, the leader of AQAP in Yemen. And you know what? The CIA backed out of it, and it's a disgrace.
Hold on, you had a chance to kill this person. You asked for permission, and they said no. What was the reason they told you to stand down?
Well, I had a very safe plan to take them out, and which you can read in my book. And the CIA backed out of a very bulletproof plan. The same plan we had to kill Anwar al-Awlaki, which was successful. We've killed Saleh Nabhan in Somalia, who blew up the Americans' embassies. My missions were successful, but at the end, the CIA backed out of my plan.